Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night. We want to begin tonight with that extraordinary just before midnight filing from the Justice Department, where the government laid out its investigation in far more detail than ever before. The document is 36 pages long with 18 additional pages of attachments and includes this photo at the end of the filing, the final page showing several classified, secret, and top secret documents. One noteworthy point, none of the folders bear a label or stamp indicating they've been declassified, as Trump or his representatives have claimed. The Justice Department says even some of the FBI personnel and DOJ prosecutors on the case needed to get extra clearances to review some of that material. Now, in this filing, the government lays out an important timeline, saying it tried to get these documents without a search warrant multiple times. They allege Donald Trump has pushed a, quote, incomplete and inaccurate narrative in the recent court filings, and that's why we are getting this new information. CBS's Robert Costa joins us. Good evening, Robert. There's a lot of new details tonight.
Good evening, Nora. There certainly are many new details here, stunning in how it shines a bright light on what was inside Trump's home, and it gives us a new look into the scope of this high-profile investigation.
The explosive legal document revealed for the first time ever photo evidence of some of the alleged highly classified documents seized from former President Trump's Florida home. The redacted FBI photograph shows classified cover sheets, some with HCS markings. That refers to the intelligence derived from covert human sources. Some of the documents were found in Trump's so-called 45 office at Mar-a-Lago, a location considered vulnerable by intelligence officials.
The last thing you want to do is disclose those capabilities and the insights from them to our adversaries.
The Justice Department has also laid out a case of possible obstruction of the probe by Trump and his lawyers, asserting they had evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room, and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation. Back on June 3rd, 2 months before the search of Mar-a-Lago, Trump's legal team told Justice Department officials that all sensitive documents had been returned.
Obstruction here, according to the Department of Justice, is that they were told false facts. They were told that all the documents had been turned over, when in fact, their evidence they developed showed they hadn't been turned over. And when they executed the search warrant, it turned out they had not been turned over.
Responding today, Trump slammed the FBI's handling of the search and claimed he declassified documents at his home. But in its filing, the government stated that Trump's lawyers never asserted that Trump had declassified the documents or asserted any claim of executive privilege. Mark Short, a longtime Republican and advisor to Vice President Pence in the White House, said Trump made a mistake.
President Trump likely should not have been in possession of those documents. I don't think that's too far of a stretch for a rational person to say.
Some legal experts say that while the probe is ongoing, criminal charges could follow.
An indictment on obstruction of justice is absolutely possible. In most cases, an indictment for obstruction of justice will accompany a substantive criminal indictment, but a standalone obstruction of justice charge does happen.
In the last few hours, sources close to Trump told CBS News that they now see this as both a legal and political war and expect Trump to be unbound in his efforts to galvanize his supporters and cast the Justice Department as political. All as federal agents continue to face increased threats. Nora?
As the midterm approaches, Robert Costa, thanks very much.